This is the 9 Blues Pod for this Wednesday, July 6, 1988. Station WTVS, Channel 5663. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins. Today what's happening. A bill requiring companies to give workers 60 days notice of factory closings or large-scale layoffs was passed by the Senate 72-23. That seemed to indicate that the Senate could override President Reagan's anticipated veto by 2/3 vote. This House is expected to approve the bill next week by a large margin, but whether it will sustain the veto is not clear. The nature of the Pentagon procurement inquiry is clear, but it is not yet possible to judge the extent of the corruption. Defense Department officials and private consultants have widely ignored some regulations intended to prevent conflicts of interest, the Pentagon's Inspector General testified. Sales of passenger vehicles rose 9.1% in the first half of 1980 over the comparable period last year. As domestic models increased with their share of the market, car sales rose 8.6% in the period, while sales of light trucks were up 10.1%.
Before noon Pacific, 3 o'clock to the east, eyewitnesses describing the angle of the plane.
A federal grand jury indicated of GAF, its vice chairman, and two subsidiaries, accusing them of manipulating its price of Union Carbide shares in 1986 after an unsuccessful takeover attempt. The indictment represents the first formal charges against an industrial enterprise stemming in police indirectly the investigation of Ivan F. Borsky. GAF denied any wrongdoing. Ivan said back to its efforts to stave off hostile takeover bid by the Bank of New York and reach a friendly agreement with a Banca Commercial Italiana. A New York State Supreme Court justice struck down Irvin's poison pill, and Irvin warned that the Fed was likely to check the payment of special dividends to shareholders as part of its acquisition. Gillette lost a round in court when a federal district court judge ruled that it would run its misleading newspaper advertisements in the midst of its proxy fight against companies and partners. Pullman received an expected takeover proposal from an investor group made of senior management and Henley Manufacturing for $7.50 a share, of a total of $295.4 million. The stock market was buffeted by waves of future-related program trading, and the final amount that set the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 20.45 points at 2,130.16. Volume on the big board rose to 190.5 million shares from $171.8 million the day before. Portfolio managers and other market professionals reacted to the big board's proposal to give priority to individual investors' orders and to drop the post-crash reform on the big board.
We want to look at it again. It's absolutely incredible.
Prices of the Treasury bonds had noted it fell further, pushed lower by a drop in the value of the dollar and a big jump in many commodity prices. The dollar eased slightly in a lackluster session marked by the central bank intervention and rumors of additional intervention. Gold rose 50 cents an ounce on the comms to $43.60 on ounce. Oil prices rose as most traders shrugged off a report that 3 OPEC members were calling for an emergency meeting. Meanwhile, soybean futures surged in late trading. Yields changed at very little on C&Ds and bank money market accounts in the last the week ended on today, while yields of money market mutual funds continue to rise.
Thankfully, they survived and they're okay.
Development nations could increase revenues by changing more
We've seen many of them
to charge for basic governance services, the World Bank suggested. Japanese politicians have been employed in a stock deal in which they reaped huge profits. Jesco gathered much data on Eddie Bauer and Talbot's, but it was a gut feeling that it clinched the acquisition of the latter. And investment managers have beaten the S&P 500 after lagging the index of 4 of the last 5 years. Stock Dow Jones Insiders closed at 2130.16, down 20.45. Stock 133.38 yen, down 95 yen. Gold 438.60, up 50 cents, and bonds 8.98%, up 0.12%. And that's going to be the anonymous board for this Wednesday, July 6, 1988. I'm P. Wednesday. You have a good evening and good night. See you tomorrow. Good night.